Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And today is Sunday, May 31st, 2015. This is episode, I don't know, I didn't look it up. 212 maybe? I think it's 212.
Sure.
We're getting up there. Anyway, how have you all been? Hopefully you've had a great week. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you come back in the future. Well, we got a lot to talk about this week, so that's good. We got a lot of content. But quick week in review. I had Monday off for Memorial Day, and I don't think I did a whole lot. Anyway, and then I worked all week, and I really felt like I was babysitting. My honors kids are pretty much done. My regular kids were working on essays. They've now turned those in, and I've got them all graded on Friday. Not so much babysitting I was doing. So that's good. And next week is all finals. We have Monday regular school, but my kids are taking the written portion of their final exam, which is another essay. And then Tuesday and Wednesday are actual final exam periods, so they'll be taking the multiple choice. And then I'll be free as of Wednesday afternoon. School will be out for the summer, which is good.
Nice.
They had graduation last night. I did not go, but I saw pictures. They actually did it all fancified. Usually the teachers just sit in a section, but this year they actually had the teachers sitting with the students dressed in their robes and all that stuff. I was like, there are certain teachers that live for that moment, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm in the world of academia and I deserve to and I'm just like, plus I don't teach seniors. It's not as big of a, honestly, is it a big deal for me? But I wasn't that big about my own college graduation, so I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much been my week, just working on business stuff as well, but we'll save that for the end. So, you, my dear?
I also had Monday off, which was great. On Tuesday, I had a huge work project due, and it is not my favorite as it concerns matters of money and financial collections of items that are not particularly fun to get from both my leaders and bank establishments. So it went really well, and at the end of the day, I was not fired, which is really good. And not that I should have worried, but it's just one of those huge projects that you kind of, I'm like, oh. I also, when I was sitting in there, my actual boss and our business manager who does all of our books and stuff for us, they were like doing the math, and I'm a communications major. I'm not the greatest at math. I can do it. I can survive. But, I mean, some of the stuff, it's like a little over my head. And they were like, this isn't right. And I'm like, oh God, please don't. And the state has their form wrong. So therefore, all of the clubs and stuff have their numbers wrong. Because they're just following the form. So that gets to be called out to our new director of the organization for the state, and I'm sure that's going to be fun. But anywho, it went well. We hung out on Tuesday evening and had dinner together. We did our walking, which is good.
I took her all over town.
It's true.
She, brought a change of clothes and gym shoes. I was like, well, then we're going to go. So we took the dogs. And
I did, because I also have a Fitbit. So you can find me as Callie Karen, I think, or Callie C on Fitbit Worldness. So that was good. Wednesday was fine. Thursday I had off. Friday I had a meeting out of town that didn't last all day, which would have been great if it did. And then Saturday, so yesterday I had to work, and I also really, as of right now, do not want kids. After yesterday's lesson that I taught, and really would be appreciating a margarita machine in our break room, because I think that's how well it went. So, yeah.
Welcome into my life almost every day.
Yeah, thanks to all the teachers that do this full time. I only have to do it once or twice a month, so thank you.
My last hour is kind of my crazy hour, and it's co-taught, so it's about half special ed, half regular. the special ed kids started their finals early Friday, and my kids turned in their MacBooks because we were 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
And so we turned in their MacBooks on Friday, and they came back, and I was like, okay, work on your study guides. Well, the kids who are left are not necessarily passing, nor care. So I was grading essays and trying to, like, work on your study guides. And I kept, every time I look up, they made their study guides into paper airplanes and were flying them into each other. And then I look over, and there's a group of 3 kids who are blowing bubbles, where they got them from, I don't know, and running through them like they're frolicking in a sprinkler. That's my life. So that's how I ended Friday. I forgot to mention, we got new gutters, which is exciting. That needed to happen. Except our front porch is sinking. So in order to make the gutters level, it looks like they're hanging on one side a little bit. I don't know if we probably didn't notice when you drove in, but... So it looks a little jankified. The only option to fix that is to jack up our porch. Lord knows how much that costs. And then they would have to come back out and re-level the gutters. So, but at least it's done, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg, so...
Just one arm.
Well, it was to the point where every time it rained, it was like 2 spots in the house, and it was like the whole house this spring. Every time it rained, it was just like water falling over on all sides of the house, not really going into certain places. And then, you know, our house is 29 years old. And then it would come into the basement, which is not good for the foundation. So, thought we'd fix that first, so our house doesn't crumble.
I didn't look when I was driving in because mostly I was trying not to hit someone as they were on the sidewalk.
Oh, that pesky neighbor kid of ours. Anyway, I think that's about it. So, let's get to the knitting. What's taking a bow this week? Voila, I have something. And we both do. But I'm going to go first. So, this morning, I finished my OMG Squee boomerang out of Leading Man Fiber Arts Show Stealer in the OMG Squee colorway on size 6 US 4mm. You've seen what the boomerangs look like before. I've got it situated. It's a boomerang. Like that. So I don't really want to take it off. But I'm really happy with it. I need to wash and block it. That's why I'm wearing it. And then it's going to go to its new home, probably. I was going to use it as a shop sample for this summer's shows. However, since this was a prototype skein, which has a little bit of white flecked into it, and it's not what the traditional OMG Squee is. Plus, I'm not going to lie, OMG Squee is very time intensive, so I don't know how much of it we're going to have at shows. You know, I don't know if it's going to be the best sample, because everyone's going to be like, where's that at? Well, I don't have it. And I'd like the recipient to get it sooner rather than later, I think, so. But I'm happy with it. They are awesome. So, and I don't know if I can really pull this off normally, so, but yeah. So, that was nice. And, I have 2 things finished, one spinning, I'll show you. But, I might have to claim my stash dash spot. Once I get pictures, we'll see. But if I do, I'm only doing the 3K.
Me too. That's what I've officially decided.
Because I've only knit like over 6,000 yards so far this year, so...
Yes. I'm doing the 3K option because I set a goal for myself this year for reading, because I get into reading and I don't, finish books quite as quickly as I would like. And I used to be an avid reader before I started knitting. And I don't want to quite cling to Audible yet. So, I set the goal that
Leave it to the English teacher to do so. Anyway, sorry.
That I wanted to read 27 books, and I have 3 done so far, which means I need to read 4 books a month if I want to finish by December. Or at the end of December, I should say. I'm sorry. Okay. So my finished object is a sockhead hat, and it is knit out of Jazzercise.
Leggings.
Jazzercise leggings. And it is the Showstopper base in Leading Man Fiber Arts. And
are you gonna put it on?
I am not. I fall into that category that the sockhead hat doesn't look all that great on me. But I did make it extra big in the actual hat part because a friend of mine, I knit it for her because she's got fat hair. And I love her to death, and I already told her that she's getting it. But I really like it, and I know that she's going to really like it too, because they live in cold climate, so it'll be nice, because when she does wash her hair, she's not going to have it freeze, which has happened.
Interesting.
So,
what's performing this week? I guess a lot.
I only have one thing.
The first thing for me is the Norris sweater by Pam Powers out of local alpaca. Mill-spun worsted weight, dyed in our royalty colorway, and I showed you I finished the last sleeve last week. I need to block them. I did very softly block them, really. I tried to fit all the pieces on my blocking board, which is kind of a Tetris, and they overlapped in a lot of places, but I just sprayed them. I didn't stretch them, I didn't pin them. I just wanted to give them a soft blocking. I'll re-soft block it once it's all put together. I had to start off by seaming the pleats. I thought that was going to be a lot easier than it was. I watched a quick video. I wasn't too happy with them, but showing Callie, I think I'm a little bit happier. But I have the back inset panel, and then the two sleeves and the two fronts on. And, of course, So, it's hard to show. I don't have the back panel put on yet. But you can see the fronts, and then... Whoops, sorry. There we go, that's a little more. The fronts and the sleeves. So there's the sleeves, which need to be seamed, and there's the front with the pleat. And I wasn't too happy, but I think it looks okay. It's still hanging the way it's supposed to. Back here you can see the inset panel for the back. And my seaming's not the best, but I don't think it looks horrible. So, that's that. So I got a lot more seaming to do this week, and then start the collar of Doom. The second thing is the Show Off Stranded Socks by Ann Campbell. I'm knitting this out of Into the World Glosta sock in the Inara colorway. I could be pronouncing that wrong again. On size 1 US 2.25 millimeter. I did a decent amount of work. I'm hoping to maybe get these done, maybe not by next weekend, but by the following week. I did a decent amount of work. I finished the leg. I did the heel and turned the heel, and I'm in the fiber on my sock. I'm into the gusset decreases, so that's where that's going.
Does the patterning continue on the foot, too?
On the top of it. Yep. So, I keep getting worried. I know I've got 2 little scraps of yarn, but this is all I'm going to. So, hopefully. I would really hate it to have to put another call out for people and be like, let me finish the sock. At that point, I would probably just substitute some scraps in, because they're for Andy, and I'm like, I'm done. I have to deal with it. The last thing I'm working on is the Neon Beast by Vera Valimaki. Doesn't look that much different from last week, but it's got a decent amount of work done on it. I have about 7 more rows before I go to the next short row section, which introduces the blue and the black again. So I'm knitting this out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Dirty Panther, Edison Bulb, and Button Jar Blue colorways. I'm sorry, this is a hot mess right now.
It's really bright.
Especially, it's not sunny.
It's
but
not.
It's catching what sun we have. It's actually rather cloudy out today.
Yeah.
So, that's the beginning, but there's this big old swath of Edison Bulb. That's truer to color.
Yeah.
The way it's showing up. So, my needles. There we go. So, and again, this is only maybe halfway done. That's gonna be bohemian huge. But I'm kind of, it'll look really good against this shirt. Actually, I have one more this color. Because I bought like every color in these shirts. They're great undershirts, great for around the house. Maybe just kind of leaving to go grocery shopping or the store. I might have bought, 2 more this season. Maybe buy some more. So, y'all have that. I was watching Minerva Turkey Knits podcast this week, and it was an older one. I'm a month behind them. And she was talking about these sailor tops she's been sewing, and she's like, I'm going to have one for every holiday, and then I'm going to make a whole wardrobe of them. So
They're cute.
Kind of how I am with these t-shirts. Because they're really, look at that. They're stretchy. Breathable. That's all that I'm working on this week. But I have something new that's going to be cast on very soon. But I'll show you that in rehearsal. I have something in rehearsal.
I have 2 things in rehearsal as well.
Oh my gosh, I have stuff all over me.
I only have one project that I've been actively working on, and I'm trying to force my hand at trying to get this done sooner rather than later, since it is late. YOLO. But I'm working on, basically, it's the ball band dishcloth version of a baby blanket, and I'm using Barocco Vintage, just regular Barocco Vintage in the white. I don't know what this color is, but I really didn't look at the ball bands, 1, because I can't find them all, and 2, I know that this is like a magenta pink, and this is a dusty lavender, and this is kind of a,
pea green.
Pea green. I was going to say baby vomit, but yeah, whatever floats your boat. But I really like this. The one thing that I have a complaint about, and I think this will fix itself out once I add the borders on, is that the white, when you slip the stitch, is very splitty looking. Like right here, if I don't pull it up, it looks very splitty. But when I add some weight to it, it straightens it out. So that's why I think the borders around it will help fix that. But it's not necessarily a perfect look that I enjoy. But it is what it is, and the fact that it's being cast on, and I basically told the recipient, this is my stash project, and she's like, what's stash? And then I was like, I don't have time to tell you this, and you're a muggle. I love you very much, but not enough to take up your time. And I was like, I want to use this for stash. So, yes.
A sweater's going to be stash for me.
Oh, and I'm knitting this on size 7 US 4.5 millimeter high sharps. Interchangeable set.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, in rehearsal, so what am I going to be casting on? Well, first of all, I'm going to bring this up later in center stage, but I'm going to be using Leading Man Fiber Arts, since I finished something out of Leading Man Fiber Arts, kind of always knitting something out of our yarn as samples. I'm going to be casting on our new June colorway of the month, which is called Venetian Sunset. And I'm going to use it in our showcase space, which is 490 yards of superwash merino, fingering weight, light fingering. And I think it's gorgeous. So we came up with this a while ago, my leading man did. And it's got kind of that dusty rose, peach orange gold, and a soft pink. And it's coming out a little more saturated on camera. Anyway, so I'll show you this in this game, but I balled this up thanks to my Nancy's Knit Knacks electric ball winding. And then I'm going to cast on a new shop sample. So I'm going to cast on the Joyful Joyful hat by Megan Williams. And this was her charity hat she does in memory of her sister. And this was this year's. I did not test it. I've tested it the last 2 years for her, but I did not have time with the business to do it at that time. So it's really interesting. You start... not to give too much away, but I was reading the pattern. You start and you knit like a panel, and then you knit a welt, and then you knit lace back up, and you kind of seam them. So that's the brim, but it's got like a stockinette background behind the lace. So it's got lace, but it's not going to be wholly over your ears where it's going to be cold. And then when you get to the main hat, you knit it, you hold the yarn doubled and go up in your needle size. So that'll be exciting to do that. So. Plus, we have these in our shop, so we'll have these at ZK, the actual pattern. So I figured I need to get shop samples made for the patterns that we sell, right? People want to see it, so working on that. One thing I don't like about these shirts, that's why they're good undershirts, the sleeves are real small and they just go... It'd be good if I had a cat, but I'm getting fat man arms.
I have two things in rehearsal. Like I said, I'm trying to force my hand at trying to concentrate on the blanket. But at a certain point, I bought two patterns this week. I bought Lefty by Martina Bem because I'm going to cast on basically the awesomest of awesome Lefty with another crafty girl. I got her rainbow bright mini skein set at Pipeline Retreat, and she didn't have it at the show, but I special ordered it. Her twinkle base, and it's in cloudy skies or cloudy gray. So it's going to be a gray background with that tinsel in it, and then the leaf part of the Lefty are going to be in the rainbow bright mini skein. So I'm really excited about that. And the second pattern I bought, I've been looking at it since it came out, and Steve gives me so much crap about it.
I did not. I supported you. I said, if you need yarn, I will supply you with it.
I know. I bought the Beekeeper's quilt by Tiny Owl. Those are the mini Hexie Puff blanket Afghan type thing. I have a pattern to sew a version of it, but I thought this would be really neat to do.
And I think sometimes you personally, and we all do, but I think you need a little bit more, with especially your baby blankets, you need little palette cleansers.
Yeah.
And that's going to be real little for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to stuff yours?
Yes. I plan to. I plan to go, I know that it's like, on the pattern, she said it's like a 3 foot by 4 foot when it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
But I want it to be a footer blanket at the end of a queen size bed, so that's kind of what I'm gonna shoot for.
Cool. Alright, behind the scenes, spinning. I finished some spinning, and I'm really happy with it, except I have not watched or thwacked it yet, because I kept putting it off, and then at that point I was like, it's not going to be dry for the podcast. But I did finish the Three Waters Farm Targhee in the Spring in My Heart colorway, and this was May's colorway of the month. And I did a fractal 2-ply, and I got 508 yards out of 4 ounces.
It's gorgeous.
I'd say it's a fingering. It might poof up to a true fingering. It might be a lighter fingering, but I'm really happy with it. You can see there's a little bit where the pinks and oranges came together, but that's going to be fun. The fun of it, right? So I'm so pleased with this. I almost want to keep it for myself, but I'm actually really low on handspun going into show season. I only have 3 skeins, and I do like to have them in our booth at shows. So this is going to be washed and thwacked and put up in the shop here in the next few days. You can see all those. I love the amount. They use so many different colors in their braids, and I think that just adds so much depth. And it's never like, ooh, so.
It's never overwhelmingly clown bar.
Right, and I cannot express how much I would join their top of the month club if you really liked it. For me, because I don't spin to knit it, I spin to sell, but also, to expand, or if you like to gift handspun, you get a color palette that may be sometimes in your color palette, sometimes out. Like I wouldn't have normally picked this up. I have next month's to show you here in a minute, and I would never have picked that up. But again, it breaks me out of my color palette. So
I like them. I like their sense of color a lot, especially for someone that doesn't spin. I mean, their braids make me want to spin. So, I mean, that it's a true testament to their color sense.
They do beautiful pictures on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. So definitely check out their top of the month club. It's very reasonably priced, especially if you're not in their luxury option, which I'm not. But also, I've never spun Targhee, and that got me to spin Targhee for the first time. So that was relatively fun. Relatively, who am I kidding? It was a lot of fun. So then I picked up another braid for my commission spinning that I'm doing, and this was actually the last braid from the original clump of braids, and then I got a whole another 9 braids at YarnCon, but that's great because I love it. So I picked up the Into the World English Shetland comb top in the Gweeder colorway, and I'm working on the first 2 ounces. It's been a while since I've spun Shetland. And it's got these beautiful bluey purples and kind of a moss green. So this is the second 2 ounces. I am fractally spinning this into a 2-ply as well. And it's going relatively quickly. It drafts beautifully. I cannot complain about it one bit. So that's where that's going. We'll see. Hopefully my spinning will pick up. I'm hoping, with me being off here in 3 days. But the other trend that I'm catching of myself, like the last 2 days, is when, especially like when Andy closes and I'm home by myself, I will be like, okay, I'm going to die, but I'll camp out downstairs with a project and work on that, but I'll be down there all night, and then I won't spin up here at all. So it's give or take, it is what it is. So
yeah.
All right. There's me using already again. I was trying to tell myself, don't use it. It's my transitional word if you haven't figured it out.
Games of shots.
In the spotlight, what am I watching? I'm watching The Killing. I've actually been... I finished season 2 yesterday. And I was actually watching that here at home, not just at lunch. And they actually kind of wrapped up the storyline that it was going on for season 1 and season 2. Like I said, it's not CSI where there's a new killing every week. This was one murder and the process of catching the killer throughout 2 seasons. So they wrapped up that storyline, but then I was like, oh, I gotta watch the 3rd season. And it kind of, there's 4 seasons in total. Seasons 3 and 4 are considerably shorter. But it's kind of, it takes a year jump, and then there's a new crossing with old storyline kind of happening. So I enjoy it if you get into cop, serial killer, thriller type things. What I'm also enjoying is Wayward Pines. I watched season 3 this week, and if you're not watching it, or you are watching it and you haven't caught this week's, cover your ears for about 10 seconds. Spoiler alert. So I mentioned that the previous week they killed Juliette Lewis, and this has not an all-star cast, but kind of a higher end B-list cast, maybe. Not Matt Damon. Matt Dillon is the main guy. But then I also told you that Terrence Howard is in it. Well, they killed him last week, in the 3rd week. So it's like, what? These big names, and they're like, and bye. They're gone, So, and it brought in this sci-fi element where, like, they're trying to escape. Again, I told you they can't leave this town. Well, they kill Terrence Howard, and then they get his keys, and they open the doors in the walls of the city, and then something came out of the darkness and took his body. And they were like, what was that? And so they were like, close the door. So we can't leave the city. But there's also this time-lapse thing where, like, one of the characters is like, I've been here for 12 years. And Matt Dillon's character's like, no, I was just with you 5 weeks ago. Shut up. I did not make fun of you in, Empire or whatever.
I know. I'm just really getting into it now.
I think it's a good show. I can't figure it out, and that says a lot to me, so.
Nifty.
Movies I'm watching. I watched G.I. Joe Retaliation. That was interesting, with The Rock. It was a good action movie. One you don't have to think about, So yeah. I'm still reading Some Girls Bite, Chicagoland Vampires, Book 1 by Chloe Neal. Again, enjoying the campiness. It's alright. It's kind of background noise, keeping my mind thinking just a little bit while I'm spinning. So
cool. Things that I'm watching on my day off on Thursday, I was real excited to find that we have... we had a channel taken off of our package. Like, I don't know if it was a discrepancy with our carrier or whatever. But it had a lot of our, like, old school mysteries on it and that kind of thing. And so, found Murder, She Wrote.
I was just thinking that when you said old school.
So excited.
Mysteries.
But then, I also found out, same channel, they show Quantum Leap on Wednesday nights
I used to
at
enjoy me
7.
some Quantum Leap.
Oh, I was, like, so excited. I was really excited when I found out that one, Quantum Leap I can watch, like, during prime time during the summer, which is great because there's nothing on. And then, 2, to find out that Murder, She Wrote is on in the afternoons, and then on Saturday mornings, it's static.
I never really was into Murder, She Wrote. I remember, and this tells you what kind of kid I was. I remember coming home from school and turning on Lifetime, and I used to watch Golden Girls and Designing Women.
I love Designing Women. My aunt, she went to school with the writer of the show.
Nice.
Yep. Just wanted to say that. Shout out Poplar Bluff, Missouri. As far as things, I haven't really watched any movies that are worth noting. But I did finish Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I will say I've never watched Parks and Rec. I know her mostly from SNL and a few of the other projects she's done, and I thought this book was really good. I thought it was a really good insight to her life without it being overly, like
autobiographical.
Yeah, it was neat because I like books that show a different element of I like a lot of mixed media in autobiographies, and there was a lot of pictures, a lot of handwritten notes, movie posters, things that she's done in there. She had a couple of her friends, she knew do side edits on some of the things to tell their side of the story about it. And I mean, the book really shows how much of a human being she is. She talks about her depression after her kids were born. She talks about, she doesn't go into specifics with her divorce from Will Arnett, but she's like, it was a really crappy time in my life. And she's really honest about everything. She talks about her drug use. She talks about alcohol. I mean, I think that it's a really accurate portrayal of her life, and she uses a lot of comedy in it. So I would say if you don't know who Amy Poehler is, it might be kind of one of those, like, maybe it's not the greatest to kind of distinguish, where she's kind of making fun of herself. But I thought it was a really good book. So if you are a fan of Amy Poehler, I thought it was really good, and I would recommend it. And I started another book called 100 Summers by Beatrice Williams, I believe. And it's pretty good so far. It was a $4.99 summer beach read at Barnes & Noble. So.
Summer beach read.
So yeah, that's what I'm watching and reading.
So, a round of applause this week. We want to talk to you about our Lace Note Along.
Mm-hmm. So, started back in April. And you have until June 30th to get your projects done for this lace portion of our knit-alongs this year. It can be any type of lace, as long as there's some yarn overs or knit twos. It can be as, simple as that, as fancy as an even star, even another Susan Pandorf pattern. It can be in any base. It doesn't have to be lace weight. It could be in bulky or whatever. You can find a bulky lace pattern. I'd be really interested in it.
They're out there. I've seen them.
Yeah. But it's whatever. It just has to have been started by April 1 to count. So we ran it April. Yep.
April, May, and June.
Yep.
3 months.
Sorry. Clearly I can count well. And so just have your projects in by that June 30th deadline, and you'll be entered to win 2 fabulous prizes.
Yep, we already have 2. If we get every 50, we add another one, so we could be adding another one before the month is out.
Yep. And if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can get 2 entries. So, yeah.
I'm kind of... I was showing the yarn. Speaking of our lace knit along, our featured designer this month for the Race to the Finished Object contest is Sarah Abram, and she is a Chicago designer, local to us, and has designed with our yarn and is currently designing with our yarn. And she actually just finished a beautiful lace shawl.
It is stunning.
Out of our Ghost Light base in our Envy colorway, and she's been posting it all over Instagram and Facebook. But she has generously decided. She says she's sorry she's a little late to the game, but she has decided that she is going to give, and I didn't write down the details.
I believe it's 20% off her pattern.
Yes. Any of her lace patterns.
Mm-hmm.
She is... Oh. Hold on. She put it in the forums. She emailed me and then put it in the forums. She put it in our lace chatter thread.
Yep.
So... And...
It is one page back from where we're looking.
Yep. It's on page 3. And... Maybe? No, it's not that far.
There you go.
Oh, post 72. To celebrate the lace knit along and the fact that I get to join in the team as the featured designer, I'd like to offer participants 30% off her lace designs, and she links to all of her lace designs through June. Just use the code DRAMATICLACE2015 at checkout. And she's got upcoming test knits. I know she's asking for test knitters for her new lace design right now, but she has
stunning work.
Looks like
Very
she's got 3, 6, 9 lace patterns that you could get 30% off of all of those, and she even has it. She has it as a bundle, so just keep that in mind. So thank you very much, Sarah, for doing that.
Very generous of you. And serious, y'all, you better jump on that boat and get some of her patterns.
She has her Much Ado shawl as well, which is designed out of our showcase yarn. So. Just saying. You might have seen that one on the Knit Girls because I had Leslie test knit it for me, or sample knit it. Yeah, I pip out our sample knits to my friends sometimes. Alright, we have a giveaway. We do. And I need to not sit on my...
There's a small trash can that I put my feet up
And that's where I usually put my feet up when I'm knitting, but I also have a bad habit of sitting on my feet. And I think it's not just messing with my ankles, it's also messing with my hip. Because one of my hips has been bothering me all week.
Your hips don't lie.
And my new colleague, who is like 24, we've gotten to become, colleagues, friends at work. And I was talking about my hip. And then I was talking at lunch, I took my glasses off. I'm like, I'm blind when I take my glasses off. She goes, how old are you? I said, 29. She goes, 29 going on 72? I was like, shut up, just you wait. But, yeah. So, we need to draw for the Knit Edge giveaway.
Yep.
That's the first one we're going to do. And that we reviewed last week from Cooperative Press. I need to, move this camera thing over so I can still see us. And we've already put in 2 through 27. This is not the winner. We haven't generated, but I'm showing you we put in 2 through 27. Kelly's going to hit generate. And it is number 20. Number 20 is going to be on the first page. And that is Indigo 13. She says, since I really like crescent-shaped shawls, I would make the Brigvier shawl using my Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love sock. Would just need to decide which colorway. And that is Barb from Vancouver, British Columbia. So,
awesome.
Congratulations, Barb. Please email me Dramatic Knits on Ravelry. And let me know you're aware that you won, and I will email my contact person, and they will gift you the e-zine. Indigo 13. The other drawing we need to do is for our May 2015 Race to the Finished Object contest. We do realize that it's the last day of May, but I will open the new June thread when we're done recording, and even if you finish it tonight, you can post it in June, that's fine. Because we didn't want to wait a whole nother week to draw prizes for y'all.
Yep.
So, there we go. We had 297 entries this month, which is great. And the first prize is for a Silvershed USA bag, medium size, Dramatic Knits, in lovely red and polka dots.
Love polka dots.
And this has a paisley inside with her business card.
I'm excited to finally meet Anne.
She's good people. So, there's that. So we're going to enter 2 through 297 into the random number generator. Callie's going to hit generate. And it is number 131. What page is that going to be on, Callie?
I bet it's going to be 6.
Oh, this couldn't be greater. This is Amber Linderman, and she knit a sandpiper shawl out of our soliloquy base. And she used 3 different colors, which I was kind of like, that's a lot of brown, but it looks gorgeous. It's out of our Copper Cloud Sandcastle and Auburn colorways, and it's gorgeous.
It is very lovely.
So, Amber, you know what? I think I have your address. So I'll ship this to you. But you can email me anyway. I might be able to ship this later. I'll tell you get it. Alright, so the second prize is for a pattern of our featured designer, who is Sarah Abrams. She is Sarah Bear Crafts on Ravelry. So we're going to draw another winner. Ooh, that just pops. Number 272. It's close to the end. 272. First of all, let me write down Amber. Are you guys looking to go see if it's you're the winner? Okay. Amber. Okay, and then 272 is going to be on the last page. No, it's going to be on the other one. We're horrible at math.
Hence why I was nervous about Tuesday's project.
272 is a Texas yarn, and she did modulation also for donation. It looks like a baby hat, or maybe a regular size hat. And that's Allison from Willis, Texas. So congratulations, Allison. Please let me know which one of Sarah Abrams' patterns you would like. Again, there's a link in our show notes, dramaticnets.com, which will take you to her pattern page. And I will let her know, and she'll gift it to you. So, we'll be opening the June thread. I love doing the monthly giveaways. It's a lot of fun.
It's neat to see what y'all are doing, too.
Right, and see what the trends are and all those things. So our June thread, our Yarny prize, is been generously donated, but they asked to remain anonymous. And it is 4 skeins of Katja Gatsby, which is 77% viscose, 15% polyamide or nylon, and 8% polyester. So it's a lot of essentially plastic. But it could make something really pretty to be very fancy. Mm-hmm. So it's 4 skeins, and you get it's 50 grams, 129 yards each, size 3.5 to 4, or size 4 to 5 US. So that'd be probably be a sport weight, maybe sport. Yeah, fingering. But you get 4 skeins. It's black with a lot of sparkle. So thought that would be fun.
I love the look of this. I think it'll make a nice wrap or something.
Good wrap.
Especially, if you're doing something for a wedding, maybe it's an evening wedding or something. It'll be really pretty.
So, there's 4 skeins in there. Mm-hmm. And then we will also have another pattern from Sarah Abrams. She's with us through the summer. We couldn't be more excited.
Yes.
So, that's that. Do you have anything to add this week before we get into center stage?
I did. I forgot to show my stash enhancement.
You didn't bring your another crafty girl, did you?
No, I didn't, because I wanted to show it to you when I start the project.
Oh.
But I did get these. These are from We One Stitch Markers. They're a shop on Etsy. And I think that they're a wonderful shop. They have many different designs. My college mascot is the beaver. So it's oftentimes hard to find something that is appropriate and or available. So when I saw these, because Etsy will be the death of me at some point, I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. They're little beaver stitch markers made out of polymer clay. Look at those. It's adorable. Oh, but wait. Look at their little tails. Do you see that? The little hatching on the tails. So adorbs.
I haven't heard much about them. Now that you say wee ones, I know Karen from Round the Twist used to get them a lot. But that was quite a few years ago. But it's good to see that she's still she does good work.
Yes, and I really enjoyed this because I placed the order Friday before Memorial Day, or what, it might have been Thursday before Memorial Day. And in her shop, it says 2 to 3 business days, and she was true to that, and it was really fast shipping as well. So, one, I was really appreciative of that, especially because I was thinking, well, you know, Memorial Day is a holiday. I wouldn't expect, I believe her name's Jillian, to work on a holiday. I'm not a slave driver by any means for my Etsy products, but it was Memorial Day was included in that, so I was really excited. She was really reasonable. I believe these were $10 or maybe $12. I think 12. But I was like, well, it's all handmade, it's all polymer clay, and there's something that's unique about these for me. So I was really excited about that. And she's got a ton of different designs, from, you know, rubber duckies to different breeds of dogs to some food to whatever. So I think they're really reasonably priced, and she does great work. So I would highly recommend the shop. Again, it's We Ones, and it's a shop on Etsy. So, yes.
Nice. All right. So we're going to move into center stage, all things leading men fiber arts. And I have a lot of new things to show you. So first of all, I want to show you, stand up, our June colorway of the month, again, called Venetian Sunset. I have it here in Show Stealer, our MCN base. So again, you can kind of see the colorways. The color's a little more vibrant there. These will go up tomorrow when I get home from work. Let's say about 5-ish Central Time. And they'll be up through June 8th, at which point we'll take them down. You can pre-order. We have it on every base. Andy dyed these up, and he did it even on lace, so we'll have it on lace as well. It looks actually really more subdued and modeled in lace. It's really pretty, so check the pictures out for that. They'll be right on the front page of our shop, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. And again, with our colorways of the month, these are not exclusive, or I won't dye them up for 6 months. It just means we're putting up much more quantity than we will have in the future of them. Now, again, you can always put in a custom order for something, but it's just more readily available. We'll be on the dye books more often that week than anything else. So it keeps us on a schedule of premiering new colorways. I know we just came out with a whole bunch of new semi-solids, but that's a little bit easier and not and base yarn, base colors. You want a lot of base colors. So. All right, now I want to talk to you and show you some new stuff for ZK 2015. So the Zombie Apocalypse, if you haven't heard, is put together by the Stockinette Zombies. It's a video podcast in Rochester, Minnesota. Leading Men Fiber Arts will be vending there, which is really exciting. Callie's coming. My leading man is coming with his mom. Callie's mom is also coming, so it's going to be a fun, exciting retreat for all of us, I think. Andy and his mom really enjoyed it last week. Yeah, they went last week by themselves. No, last year. So we're already planning, I think, an excursion to the Mall of America on that Friday. We're coming in Wednesday. It'll be a good time, I think. So there's a lot of great vendors this year. Not that there weren't last year, but they just got some last minute additions, like the 3 Irish Girls, and Stephen B. will be there with some items from his shop. Alicia Goes Round, I've heard a lot of good stuff about her, so I'll have to check them out. The Knit Buffalo yarn truck is coming. 716 Knit. She owns the Knit Buffalo yarn truck. She's going to be, the yarn truck will actually be there, so that's really also exciting. Sucks I won't be able to really go out there and look at it.
I will.
But I'll be, once it dies down, maybe. I'll be like, Andy, you take this.
Oh, I was like, what makes you think I'm going to step in?
No, that's what I have Andy for. So we have a new colorway for the Zombie Apocalypse retreat, and I was waiting to show it to you until I got permission, but then I saw that Megan and Amy showed it off on this week's podcast. So I was like, well, I'm going to show you off. So it's called Don't You Know? Last year we did a You Betcha. So we're kind of sticking with the Minnesota sayings. We'll see how long it lasts, how many years we go, but we got a couple more up my sleeve. And just like we did last year, we took inspiration from the fabric of the bags that Amy's mom of the Silver Shed USA did for the retreat. So we took inspiration from not the bags this time, but their logo that they had made for this year's retreat. And so I selected colors. I'm the one who actually came up with this one. And this is called Don't You Know. So it's got a brownish tan, this sage green blue, and this soft and then darker purples. So this is called Don't You Know. This will be at the retreat. So that's the ZK colorway. I'm excited to show you that. And I'm on the game. I already got SSK colorway done. I'll show you that when it gets closer. I can show you that one this year. We're also going to be premiering sock blanks. We're calling them improv sock blanks, and the reason why they're called that is because they are all going to be one of a kinds. This is where we're going to have fun, do what we want to do, see what happens. I brought one up, but we also have some done as self-striping, which is really exciting. I showed Callie. She really liked that. But this is one my leading man did. And I have fun just either I'm not going to lie, sometimes I used a random phrase generator to come up with them. But half of them I don't like. And then sometimes things pop in my head. So this one I knew I wanted to be zombie-esque. I thought I'd show it to you because, stockinette zombies. But I'm calling this Grotesque Zombie. So it's a lot of fun. It'll be fun to see the way they knit up. This is single knit. So same base as our showstopper. It's 463 yards, the same as you get. They are going to be a little bit more than our Scanza showstopper. These will retail for $30, but that's because, costs a little bit more to have it machine knit beforehand. But you will not get matching socks. Just saying that. But if you're cool with that, you can try these out. Again, we're going to have about 30 of them at the retreat. So we'll see how they go. These will be a specialty item dyed for in-person shows. And then what we don't sell will be put up in the shop after the event. So that's exciting. And I just did some yesterday with messages in them, like ZK 2015 and stuff. So I like that. The last thing I hinted at last week, had this pop into my head now that we have the ball winder, electric ball winder, and we've got a rescanner and everything. It takes a little bit more work, but I decided that I was going to do gradients. So this is the first one we did. I also did a second one, and I'm hoping to have a total, set a goal on myself to have 9 different colors of gradients. So there'll be a lot because it makes 5 sets when I do them. So there'll be 45 sets of gradients. Right now they're on our soliloquy base, which is 657 yards. I'm going to say you're going to get about 650 once you take in the rescanning and everything. Comes with 5 mini skeins of 130 yards each, 30 grams each, and it's 100% superwash BFL. So here is our London fog gradient. Again, sorry for the glare, but you can see it is a true gradient. They will all be true gradients, where they go from lighter to darker. And I'm really proud of these. So this is the London fog. I did a poison apple one. I'm hoping to have a whole rainbow of them. That's my hope.
How much are you going to?
These are going to be 40.
I'm just asking so that way those that are budgeting out their money for ZK.
These will be 40. Again, there's a lot of time into them, and the rescanning and everything, and the regular scan of Soliloquy is $30. And to be honest with you, both these gradients and the Soliloquy that we've had forever were underpriced compared to the market. So I don't think it's a bad deal. So these are going to be 40. We also are going to have our mini skein sets. We'll have variegated and semi-solid options. We'll have one of each. We'll have them in Showstopper, Show Stealer, and Spotlight. We're adding Spotlight for the show. So that's really exciting. Now, so that's all the new stuff. So let's show you what we updated this week very quickly. On Spotlight, and I also put it up in Soliloquy, we have Darkest Hour, which is black, but it's got some gray,
Flecking?
Yeah, a little bit. You can see it there. Kind of reminds me of that Dirty Panther. That Madeline Tosh does. On Show Stealer, which is our MCN fingering weight, we have Old Blue Eyes. Showstopper, which is our 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon. We have Pipeline. Spotlight, we have Poison Apple. Love this red. This is the gradient I did, the other gradient. So it goes from like a very soft reddish, almost pink, to double this red, to a really dark red. So, excited to show you that. On Spotlight as well, we have Smoky Quartz. On Showstopper, we have Glacial. Did a lot of Spotlight this week. Spotlight, we have Raspberry Parfait. On Show Stealer, we have Barbie's 90. And there's 2 skeins up, and then there were 2 skeins I put on sale, generously discounted from these retail for $24. I put them down to $20. They have purple flecking, and purple flecking that I was not happy with. So one of them already went, but there is 1 skein on sale if you don't mind. There are purple, darker purple spots in some of it. It's not regular. But you know, if you're looking for a cheaper skein of MCN. On Box Office, we have a skein of Vengeance. If you remember, I showed Vengeance before, and it was much darker, and it reminded me a lot of Eternal Kiss. So I took back the dye quantity a lot, and I'm really happy with this. This is very dusky. So this is Vengeance on Box Office. On Showstopper, we have No Good Deed. Spotlight, we have My Lip Gloss Be Poppin'.
The singer that actually sang that song, she just came out with a new song.
And lastly, on Spotlight, we have Minty Fresh. So, that's what's been added this week. I think I only updated 2 or 3 times this week. We've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes dyeing, not for necessarily the shop right now. You know, we're doing a lot of dyeing of fiber, gradient sets, sock blanks, things that will be premiering again at CK, but all those leftovers will go up in the shop, and then we'll do a whole new batch of stuff for SSK, and then a whole new batch of stuff for Stitches. And then we got a month or 2, and then a whole new batch of stuff for, oh, I can't tell you.
I know what it is.
But I'll be able to tell you soon enough, I'm sure. So. Alright, y'all. I think that's it. So, remember to check out the shop. iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Ravelry, all the regular rigmarole.
Smoke signals. Gotta be clear, though.
Spotlight signals at night with the Leading Men Fiber Arts glasses. Oh, we need that! Anyway. Until next week.
We hope you
knit something dramatic.